This afternoon, we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging.
Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hey. Sure we all right. Sounding good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Me.
Fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning happening right now.
In the morning.
All B, buddy to God. That's what's up, 7 o'clock. If you believe in the concept of time. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, March the 3rd, 2025. Already into March.
Man. Yeah, I'm already looking like June. Is that you, player?
Man, June coming soon.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Oh,
What's up?
Marlon Harrison. Yeah, man. R.I.P. to the Queen, man. Angie Stone.
Man,
We start with that.
Lost a couple of queens this past month, man. Angie Stone, Berta Flack. Very important voices. Yeah, man. R.I.P. Appreciate that, Marlon Harrison. Good morning to you. Also, Leah Keister gives us a happy, marvelous Monday. Appreciate that. Mark Manor said, I needed to wake up song this morning. Good morning, man.
Okay. Wake up. Big Sherm, fool.
Big Sherm in the house, boy. Yeah. I feel you on that. I'm going to give you a little bit of that because I feel that. I kind of need to wake up this morning myself. It's definitely been a long weekend.
Man,
I'm trying to hype. Yeah, man. It's going down. Drinking a little drunk ship. Let's wake up with y'all. Let's wake up. Put your bounce on this morning, y'all.
Hey.
Wake up.
Shout out to Sherman Wells, always waking us up.
Man.
One way or another, brother. He's either waking you up physically or he's waking you up mentally all
there
the
you
time.
Go. Stay woke.
He be staying woke for real. As a matter of fact, we could jump into some community news, talk about him and his show. He just got down on a sermon for Sherman, or a Sunday sermon with Sherman. And he got to talk to some young folks. If you haven't got a chance to look at that, please go to Sherman L. Wells' page and take a look at his show. Man, he has some powerhouses on, man. Some young folks. Our brother Jaden, man, sister Olivia. So, yeah, they're going to be hosting a forum coming up. So he talked to them a little bit. Assembly of the Saints. It's going down shortly, as a matter of fact. And we're actually going to have Jaden and Olivia on the show on Wednesday to talk to them a little bit more about what's going on. But this is the forum here. This is it'll be District 2 City Council Candidate Forum. Young folks involved in hosting this.
Getting down.
Assembly of the Saints is happening at 6 o'clock from 6 to 8:30 on March 5th. So yeah, be looking at that, man, and support. Come out and support Assembly of the Saints, Sherman Wells' efforts, and also the young folks that are trying to step up, man. I heard a little bit on the sermon. And he was just like, you guys are, 22, 24 years old. He goes, when I was that age, I was into all kinds of other stuff. How did you guys feel this is important enough to get involved with this stuff? And they talked a lot about serving our community, public service, getting mad about conditions and wanting to make some change. Shout out to the young folks.
That's what it's about, man. I blame Trump. Think about it. Think about all the high schools that were having protests and walkouts, and about eight or so years ago, the 16-year-olds then are the 24-year-olds now. The same people. Think about it.
Now they voting.
Think about it. Now they getting active.
Big time. Shout out Michelle Moreno giving us a good morning. Kimber Snipes in the house with a good morning. Miss Erica Felt with a good morning. Appreciate a fam coming in early.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning. Do us a favor, share the show on Facebook. Facebook days numbered, man. Facebook hit us up with a message saying that all previous videos that are 30 days and older are about to be deleted. That's getting ready to be their new policy. So be looking for that. If you got some old videos past that's been beyond 30 days that you want saved, you might need to download them.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Facebook, just wondering if it's working. I see a lot of YouTube comments, but yeah, Facebook, you there? Okay, Mama God, okay. Just in time.
Right on time. Pop says, good Monday morning, First Sky. Mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Miss Erica Fell says Jaden Perkins is a part of that. He's beaten brain cancer recently. He's amazing. Yeah, he is. We're gonna have him on the show Wednesday, and
Man.
we'll definitely ask him some questions about how he felt the community support him during his time for sure.
Yeah, and let's acknowledge the brain cancer situation, man. As there was a community rally. Nice to know that he's on the up and up with that.
Yeah, yep. We're definitely gonna ask him about that on Wednesday. See how he felt supported, and why he wants to continue with the public service that he wants to do. I mean, he got a real passion for the public, so I can't wait to talk to him. Marlon Harrison in the chat said it's sad that after Roberta Flack and Angie Stone passed away, their music wants to chart on iTunes and Spotify. That's how it usually goes. That's how it usually goes. Somebody, artist pass away, and all of a sudden they blow up.
Man, posthumous albums.
Posthumous is an interesting word. Posthumous albums. Kind of feels like sometimes the only way you can get any play
Man.
these days. Like a visual or like painters in the past. They don't make no money till they die. Sean McCarthy says, morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Mark Manor says, Facebook is looking to spin off Reels into a separate app.
I don't know what they're doing, man.
I don't know what they're doing, bro. I don't know what they're doing. Speaking of guests, Lakeisha Green is going to join us on Friday. You guys been hearing her name in the news. She's the ED over at Union for Contemporary Art. We'll still be talking about the Union pretty much all week long. It's gotten deeper. The story has evolved. So we'll definitely be talking to her and seeing what she has to say on those things. And yeah, we'll be talking about that throughout the week. A little bit more opinions on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and also if you have opinions in the chat, you can let us know as well. But yeah, we'll be talking to her, hearing what her moves were and why on Friday. So if you've been following that story, check it out. The Union for Contemporary Art has made some big changes. Some people got laid off, and they came back and they said that it was because they wanted to form a union. So we'll see exactly what's going on. But she agreed to come on. She's excited about coming on, and we'll be able to talk to her. That's Lakeisha Green will be on Friday. So stay tuned for that. Something coming up that I'm going to be involved with March 9th. Put this on your calendar at the Omaha Design Center. It's called Art and Soup. And basically we'll be raising some loot for nurses. VNA's 28th annual Art and Soup fundraiser, Sunday, March 9th, 2025, Design Center. Join us in supporting the Visiting Nurse Association as they host the 28th annual Art and Soup fundraiser. Community members can purchase an exciting mix of art and eat unique soups prepared by some of Omaha and Council Bluffs' best chefs. Okay. Proceeds from the event help provide VNA nurses in group maternity homes, domestic violence shelters, and homeless shelters in Omaha and Council Bluffs. So I highly encourage you come check this out. I'm going to be one of the judges of the art at this event. So that's March 9th from 2 to 5 at Omaha Design Center. Please check it out. If you need more information, vnatoday.org/art and soup. A VNA nurse in every shelter is what they're working towards. So check them out. Eat soup, buy art, change lives. I like that.
Come on, Paul. You say you're there judging. You know you're there for the soup, brother. You know you're there for the soup.
I ain't a big soup dude, but if somebody can win me over with some soup, then they doing something.
Hey man, don't sleep on the broth.
Oh man, that's what's up. Appreciate it. Also, Kimber says I met with her last week talking about Lakeisha Green. Yes, I saw you guys out there. Should have seen that picture. I wish I would have pulled that picture. It looked like the Avengers table. It was like Lacey Lamar and Kimber Snipes and and I gotta find the picture because it was too cold. But yes, man, I appreciate that you going out there in the field and talking to some folks and getting the story. Getting the story about what's going on. Like I said, the story has expanded. What's going on at the Union? We'll talk about it. Pops is talking about Roberta Flack says one of Roberta's biggest hits, "Feel Like Making Love," was written by former Omaha resident Eugene McDaniels.
Okay.
There you go.
Pops with the history.
Pops with the history. Pops with the Monday Morning Chronicles. Right, exactly. Yeah, we'll be talking about it. Shout out to Pops with his musical history. We'll be talking about some of his books in the future as well coming up. When Easter gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Before we get to some of this news, I just kind of wanted to pull out a couple more things that's going down. There's another Omaha U360 situation coming up. Empowerment Network. Shout out to them for the work that they're doing. This is empowering families and the next generation of leaders to create stronger communities. The Omaha U360 situation happens. I believe this is a weekly. Is this a weekly event? Yeah. For more information, it says, every
Wednesday of each month.
Every Wednesday. There you go. So we'll definitely be looking into this more, and also talking about the step up program that's coming up as well, for youth to get summer jobs and that type of thing. So shout out to all the work the Empowerment Network is doing on that tip as well, and also shout out to our partners over at Heart Ministry Center. Man, they're doing a
Man,
financial literacy workshop. Tell me we need that in a
man,
big
big
way.
time, big time.
Yeah, man, it's starting next week. Arbor Bank will be back on site to lead their financial literacy workshop. That's March 5th, 12th, and 19th. Classes will be from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Heart Ministry Center. That's 2221 Wirt Street, right across the street from Culture House. So if you want some more information about that, please go to Heart Ministry Center and check it out. Any kind of free financial literacy classes that are going on, I'm trying to be at, because I certainly need to know what to do with my money, because I'm bad with it. So
Man,
got to figure it out.
yeah, yeah. Only downside is I wish it would the timing. It's two to three. A lot of folk got to be at work, but you know,
This is very true. Very
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. Shout
Very
out to
true.
them for doing it nonetheless.
But we'll keep our eye out on other things that are happening. There's a lot of talk about some financial literacy help for our community that's coming up. So
We need it. We need it, man. It's looking hard to find jobs out here.
big time, big time. But Kimmer says we had that meeting set up before all that stuff happened, talking about with Lakeisha. That's what's up. You was
Mm,
already planning on meeting with her, and then it just so happened to coincide with what's going on in the story of the union. So that's
man,
interesting.
real
Miss-
quick,
Mhm.
real quick comment on the union, man. I've been up there. It's a beautiful place. I'm glad to see something positive being done with the whole Blue Line building that has been sitting there for a big chunk of my life.
Right.
But it does seem unfortunate that the union gets the most publicity, the most conversation when it's something negative happening. I don't feel like we've talked about the union this much since that whole front window situation happened. So yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about it with her on Friday. Struggles. She'll be joining us on Friday again. Lakeisha Green, who is the executive director of a union right now, in the midst of all the controversy that's going on with this union situation. So we'll definitely be talking about it. Get your questions ready for sure. One more thing before we get out of here. We earlier this morning gave a rest in peace to Angie Stone. She's a powerhouse singer. Miss Erica Phelps says everyone forgets that Angie Stone was a member of the first all female rap group.
Yeah.
I had the Sequence album on a Blue Sugar Hill label back in the day. Got it stolen,
Mm,
man. Yeah, she was on Sugar Hill Records, bro. That's how far back Angie
yeah.
Stone went. Yeah,
OG with the
OG.
blue label.
OG. And of course, she got reintroduced to us when she did some work with D'Angelo. She did her solo album. She actually did a song with Prince that was huge. Powerhouse, man. We lost a couple powerhouse vocalists, vocal
Man.
queens.
Man, I had the actually had the honor of meeting her son, who's a very talented artist in his own right. Actually, he's both her and D'Angelo's
Yeah,
son.
her and D's son, right?
Yeah, man, my man Swavo Twain, man, definitely condolences goes out to you and the whole family.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Appreciate you bringing him up.
Man, for sure, for sure.
Yep. Good morning, Heather Williams. Mark Manner says Sequence. You know what it is. You got a record over there? You got it's gonna be a collector's edition in a minute.
Man,
Let us know. Shout out to Homer's Records. Get your record collection together,
hey,
please.
Homers gets down.
Almost gets down. That's about it right now. We're going to jump into some headlines because it's kind of a news Monday. So we appreciate everybody who put stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Again, for those of you that have been leaving Meta, those of you that are listening to us right now on YouTube and not going back over to Friends of page because it's on Facebook, we understand. We're working on some other things right now for you to be able to contribute in other places. In the meantime, you can always check our website, firstskyOmaha.com, and also sign up to the newsletter, the weekly wrap that drops on Friday.
Yeah,
That's where a lot of that's going to happen. But yeah, we'll have some more. We're going to still utilize social media. We just have to move and shake, move and
man,
flex.
yeah, man. Yeah, gotta pivot, gotta make it happen.
Got
Gotta
to
make it
pivot.
happen.
With that
Yeah.
said, today's top headlines and what we're going to talk about today, buddy. What's going on in the market?
Man, and that's the word, pivot. Pivot. Again, we got to pivot. A lot of changes coming down the pipe, a lot of things coming from the Trump administration and reaching the backyard of Nebraskans. And yeah, continuing our conversation from last week as far as what's the plan and what can we do? For those who don't know, just a little insight and exactly how this whole DEI saga is continuing in the state of Nebraska. First of all, changes to UNO. There's been some letters written. Apparently, there's some infighting amongst the regents, trying to figure out how to navigate that. But it's not just, again, in this realm of education and UNO changing some of their policies that might affect, again, enrollment numbers, but also the Air Force Base. Again, Offutt Air Force Base. A lot of people in my family, and I'm sure a lot of you know people that have gone into the military, especially the Air Force, as Offutt Air Force Base is kind of a big part of the Omaha fabric, if you will. But again, the makeup of Offutt could be changing as well, as they're feeling the pressure from the Trump administration to change some of their DEI policies. And again, what does that mean for the future of our military? But again, it's not just those areas, it's all across the board. Shout out to our partners over at Flatwater Free Press for releasing a pretty insightful article, man. They do the good work at getting the emails, getting the data, and turning it into a story. And they were able to get the emails. And man, I don't know if you've seen this, but you got to check out the responses from some of the state officials in light of the Trump call to freeze funding, and just the wide reaching impact that this may have had, and really just kind of how they're talking about some of this stuff and their willingness, again, to fall in line with Trump. So again, if the federal government are making these decisions and then the state government is going along with the decisions, then what is the defense lie? Do we rely on the city, the county? Those are the next two levels, or is it just on us?
Mm.
Is it just on us? And again, continuing our conversation from last week, I do believe it is on us, and we have to support more of these types of things that we're seeing, like what we're seeing from Sister Tamika Meese and NOCP. Shout out to them. We were talking about this here a little later on, but they actually were able to acquire some land that was purchased for $1. So, might have to talk about that for a second, how that happened. But not just about the land, but what they're intending to do with the land. Again, saying that they will develop a community garden. Again, one of the most fundamental, building blocks of surviving in community is being able to feed yourself, especially in light of possible changes to farming funding, and a lot of money is drying up, and it's impacting a lot of areas of life. And again, the buck is kind of going to stop and fall on the people. So again, what are we doing? I did do a little research. Speaking of that, the response from the people so far to this whole DEI situation has been the economic blackout that went down on Friday. There's been some information coming out about who created that blackout, who founded it, and yes, we got to have some conversation about that. The impact. What are your thoughts? Did you get involved in that? Let us know in the chat. In the meantime, between time, we're about 15 minutes into this thing. So yeah, Paul B. What say you, man?
Man, appreciate everybody that's coming in talking about some things as well. I see Kimmer Snipes in the chat says, I received a call from Professor that said that that the Doge created some sort of AI link that they're sending to universities to go through all their websites looking for anything related to DEI. Messed up stuff going on for sure. As a matter of fact, there was another report that was talking about the fact that there's some scientific entities that I don't know if you wanted to get into that when we talk about the article here, but I just wanted to kind of bring out all the ways that this is going down. We kind of had dismissed DEI a little bit, thinking people think DEI means black, and it's really kind of affecting a whole lot of other people besides us. But there's some other stuff that's pretty surprising that's going on when it comes to situations where funding is involved. That's really how this is affecting some things. Organization that provides 25% of all scientific funding is getting ready to be unfunded because of certain words and stuff like that. There's a lot that we need to talk about when it comes to this. So we'll definitely come back and jump in and have some discussion on this. And I appreciate everybody who's jumping up right now and getting into the conversation. This is what it takes. It takes us to break this stuff down, understand it, and figure out what to do about it. So we'll take a quick break and come back in and jump in. Stay tuned. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Shout out to all you chat chimers, ghost listeners, and monitoring spirits we haven't acknowledged much lately.
We see you.
We see you. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Man, I hope you guys are awake now. I'm trying to wake up myself. It's been a long weekend.
Man.
You guys have fun this weekend? You guys do
Wake up,
anything
wake up,
fun?
wake up, wake up. Anybody catch the Oscars?
Yeah. I always am missing. I'm missing stuff these days. Like it'll be after the fact and I'll be like, oh, what happened? Man, I used to be all about it back in the day. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Do not know what happened. Yeah, it's going on. Mark Manor in the chat. Oh, let me turn this off. Hold on. Mark Manor in the chat. I like what you're talking about here. He says, I don't see how that blackout really impacted Walmart and such, but had a lot of people come to my store making sure they stayed why on Friday. Okay. Yeah, let us know, expound on that. Let us know on that. I did see a post from Brother Kasim of the Black Agenda Alliance talking about that blackout. He was like, "Is it enough? It doesn't feel like it's enough. One day out of 360, can't we carry this all the way through the year?" Is kind of what he was feeling like. And yeah, I mean, I looked for reports on how much it impacted some of these businesses. I didn't really find much.
No, I didn't either.
One day out of the year just don't seem like it's enough. We need a year-long blackout. And then how long did the bus boycott last? Not just one day.
No, it was like over 300 days or something. But yeah. We're gonna talk about that whole blackout because I've actually found the face behind it, and you know certain imagery come to mind when you hear the word blackout. I'll just say that that wasn't what happened. So yeah, very very interesting, that whole situation, and it's very much so worth conversation as to the impact. There has been reports of the impact on Target there, which has kind of been the poster child of this whole situation. They've even to the tune of their board members suing some of the administration for their loss their loss of bottom line because of this whole DEI situation. And some I don't know if you heard about that, but yeah, there's been reports of the board of Target basically suing the president and CEO of Target, saying that they didn't know that the DEI changes would impact their bottom line and make them lose money. Yeah, you can't make some of this stuff up, man. You can't make some of this stuff up. So yeah, very interesting, the whole response to it. But I want to get into the impact of what's going on. Like what are people responding to, and how is this thing developing? A few people in the chat kind of already talking about how they're being impacted. I see Mama God talking about veterans. She says DEI is affecting veterans at an alarming rate. Also, that woman says DEI is why women finally got to own homes, bank accounts, and credit cards in 1974, 4 years after my mother left my father. So again, people still trying to figure out the impacts of DEI, kind of just getting down to the bottom of it. And as we mentioned, is impacting just about every aspect of life, going to education. And Sister Kimra, I hear you, speaking about how some of the education department changes are affecting and what's happening behind the scenes. Would definitely love to hear more from you on that, as far as what is happening, what kind of messages are coming from the Department of Education, what kind of pressure is being placed on that whole situation. And we're seeing it happen with UNL or UNO. 1 second.
That's UNO, right?
Apologize, my article didn't want to open.
Well, what's wrong with it?
Yeah, what's going on? The tech is teching. But yes, NU Regents hold a special meeting to discuss potential changes to policies and bylaws. Again, this is all coming from the threat from Trump administration to freeze and stop all federal funding for those who do not go along and coalesce to the Trump call for the DEI changes. And again, we're seeing people fall in line left and right. Just on February 14th, again, the Trump administration sent a letter stressing its legal interpretation against quote unquote race-based preferences. The University of Nebraska's Board of Regents on Tuesday weighed what changes might be needed to NU to meet those demands. The Valentine's Day letter from the U.S. Department of Education drew immediate attention for its clear threat to schools that failed to comply. The NU system had already been looking to update that language in its bylaws and policies, and said that it had not been updated since the 1980s. So they were saying that it was dated, but maybe these weren't the changes that they were anticipating. And again, what the changes may mean. One such change appeared to be targeting language referencing affirmative action, which again definitely impacts enrollment numbers. From before the state's voters passed an initiative outlawing the approach in 2008. Others aimed at language addressing race and ethnicity directly, including in admissions and tuition setting. The NU board did not immediately take action on the proposed changes. NU officials said the board would review the changes at future meetings at the part of a broader planned bylaw and policy update. However, a handful of faculty spoke at the meeting against changing how NU approaches its academic mission. Some critics approach have pointed to the possibility that the university could make changes the courts deem unnecessary just to fall in line. So again, what does that mean for enrollment for UNL? Are we going back to the days of segregation and HBCUs? The need for HBCUs? We'll see.
HBCUs at the same time is a target of being unfunded by a whole bunch of people that have been funding them before, so that they're under attack as well. There's a lot going on with all of this, and again, it always comes back to what it is that's going to be kind of the constant theme of this whole season, which is self sufficiency.
Yeah, man.
How are we gonna take care of it ourselves? Is the question. I appreciate that. Brief Fool in the chat. Good morning. He says lots of pressure on schools from the feds. OPS is not prematurely complying with anything, unlike Chancellor Gold.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Because
Yep.
again, at the state level, they seem to be going along with Trump. So again, it falls. What are the county and city levels doing? So nice to know that. And that's kind of my whole point throughout all of this. That I think hyper local should be the focus. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Anthony Rogers right in the chat says it lasted, talking about the bus boycott, it lasted until the demands were adhered to. That's
There
the
you go.
difference between a boycott and a performance stunt. Everybody kind of feeling like this whole thing with the blackout thing is. I always look at it like they could have done nothing, so at least they tried to do something. At least they put it in people's heads to do this. It might grow to a bigger, actual, real boycott that lasts until demands are adhered to, like Anthony Rogers Wright is saying. With that, definitely, definitely something to talk about. Definitely something to go for. Pops in the chat was saying he said he stopped buying from Walmart and where is his comment at? He stopped buying from Walmart and Target months ago. So again, the question is, is one day this, maybe the publicity of one day will get people thinking about doing this for real? Good question. Clarice Jackson in the chat, give us a good morning. Appreciate you coming through. Kimmer says, I'm working on creating a personal platform where I can do regular updates. She says, I went to DC this week to try to utilize my story to convince the 7 Nebraska representative governor to not cut Medicaid, SNAP, and early childhood education and child care subsidy. It was so sleazy. Appreciate you, Boost to the Roots, going out there and trying to make some kind of thing happen. Can't wait to hear your updates on that. But yeah, this goes into that idea that we are talking about right now all the time, which is like, what can we do? What can we do to fight it? What can we do to combat all those things? And here's some examples in the chat.
That's just think about that though. Sister Kimra says she's going out to DC as well. She says, I'll be going to DC for an advocacy trip in a couple weeks, supposed to meet with the Department of Education. We shall see. But just the fact that again, the citizens themselves have to spend their hard-earned money, buy a plane ticket, given the state of the planes, let's just say that take the risk to take a plane to DC to go advocate for themselves because the people that the state elected to advocate for them are falling in line. Just think about that.
Very true. Very true. She's also asking, is anyone, what's going on with the thing here? Okay, man, tech messing up. Sorry about this.
Hitting with the fat finger.
No, it's the tech jumping around like crazy. Lost Kimmer's. There, here it is. Kimmer says, "Is anyone in the chat or on the contacting their elected representatives?" Yeah, is anybody doing that?
Exactly.
Is anybody doing that? Are the elected representatives doing anything about, like, are they like if we let them know what it is we want, are they going with what they want or what the party wants, or they, how can we be sure that what it is that we're asking them is gonna fly? First things first, though, we do got to contact them. We do got to let them know. That's the first move, right? And then take record of that. If they're not listening to what that is, then you got to go to step 2. But yeah, interesting stuff. I didn't find an article on that science situation we were talking about, Buddy, but I did find the original a post that I saw on Instagram by a journalist. I'll put that in the chat. This is something that might be very interesting for you guys to look at. But basically, the National Science Foundation got hit with a mandate. This is kind of along the lines of what we just talked about with UNO. The word women and a bunch of other words have been banned by the National Science Foundation for any incoming grant proposals. So if there are words found anywhere in your grant proposal, these 100 words that they're talking about, including the word women, it will automatically be rejected. So so this is as of February 5th. So the National Science Foundation is responsible for funding 25% of scientific research. So and these words include disability, LGBT, BIPOC, social justice, the word women, which really was the point of this woman's post. But here's a list. I don't know if you can see this, kind of small, but if you can see activist, advocacy,
Man,
barriers, cultural differences. Look at the words on this. Inclusive, of course. You know, every female, excluded, racial diversity. If any of these words or phrases are in your grant proposal to the National Science Foundation, it'll automatically get rejected. So you talk about organizations following suit, following mandate. We talk about this DEI situation. We talk about how these things affect us. Well, here's something that's real super blatant,
yeah,
that is going to affect a lot of funding for scientific research. And the fact that the word woman and female is in here is just is insane to me. So if you can't do any research when it comes to like what again when we talk about what do we do, um there's so much to be done. Where do you start? We got to start funding science initiatives now in order to continue research, raise money for that. We messing around here with not buying stuff at Target for one day. Who's going to fund the research that we
man.
need, the scientific research we need to continue? It's crazy.
Not just that.
Mhm.
Who's gonna protect us? We talk about the army here in a second. They're changing their DEI policies as well. It's reaching every corner of society.
Anthony Rogers right in the chat says, I meet with multiple Senate and congressional staffers weekly. The Senate is not feeling what the House just did to Medicaid and SNAP. Looks like there's a deadlock for now. Appreciate
Mm.
the information. Appreciate the information. There's somebody, there you go. Chad Chimer, Boost to the Roots, out talking to them directly, being in the room and finding out what's going on. So I appreciate that very much. Mama Guy said FAA canceled Verizon contract for airspace tracking and awarded to Elon Starlink.
Yep.
This is wild. Ms. Erica Phelps says Medicaid isn't just insurance card. It is what helps identify children with development delays or cognitive divergences, as well as their IEP, FISP, and various supports.
Mm.
I mean, that this was what strikes me, like just the information that we get from the chat chimers. We can sit here all day and talk about how the industries that they're in and what they're doing is affecting everything they're trying to do, and every organization that's trying to do it is looking at not getting funded.
Yeah. And I did want to correct something I said earlier. Thank you, ladies, for correcting me on that. Speaking of organizations stepping up, to fight losing funding and things like that. Sister Kimra says that she was sent out to DC by the district. Again, she is on OPS's board. She also says, which is also why I have elevated when we come back from the spaces, we need to debrief. Okay,
For
for
sure.
sure. Also, Sister Erica Felt, she says, I sit on the Omaha board of National Association for the Education of Young Children, and they cover my hotel. I had to cover all transportation, conference fees, food, appropriate clothing. Yeah, the likes. So again, thanks for that clarification. But just again, to my point, the fact that these organizations and these individuals have to fly out to DC, what are the representatives doing? What is the state doing? The administration, what are they doing?
Yeah. Just a side note, I met some folks just recently that were involved in inclusive communities, and kind of mentioned first off, like right in the beginning of the conversation, yeah, kind of looking for another job. I don't know what's going on there. Can you imagine working in an organization called Inclusive Communities right now? Your funding is getting cut off all the way. Like that entity might not even exist. So this is affecting people that are, and these are people that are in our community, that are saying these things that are
Yeah.
involved. So, yeah, it's definitely involved. Also, in the meeting, got to speak to Regent Barbara Whites, who is in UNO, in conjunction with what we're talking about here with UNO. And she kind of talked about how she's the only one there trying to fight this stuff, not really getting a whole lot of cooperation around. She's a kind of lone wolf in there trying to fight this stuff. So,
Mm.
really kind of pushing back on a lot of those things and trying to push for some change and some other people. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You
making
fell
sure that
asleep.
no, I'm making no.
You over there
Making sure I
nodding
got
off.
stories teed up.
7:36 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, appreciate you guys coming through. Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat says that woman, people also don't realize that the first people to receive a Medicare card was former President Harry S. Truman and his wife.
Mm.
Yeah, there's some hypocritical stuff definitely going on. Kimber Snipes asking the question, how can our local elected officials benefit from your connections? Anthony, good question. I love how you guys are having that discussion there. Definitely can't wait to hear about that. Before we go to break, speaking of which, there's this is also coming up here, a HAPS coming up called People's Assembly, Food Sovereignty, Economic Democracy. It's happening at 5 o'clock, man. This is March 8th. This is coming through.
Yeah.
Callie Akuno is going to be there. David Cobb, Anthony Rogers Wright is the one who has been posting this. So I appreciate that very much. I appreciate you putting this in the Friends of First Sky Omaha group. I had some information on it. Man, my notes are all over the place this morning, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
Get some junk
Definitely,
shit.
yeah, man, definitely check this out. It's in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So if you see this flyer, go ahead and read the information involved, and we'll talk a little bit more about it when we come back. And also, like I said, the more information there on Friends of, and Anthony Rogers right in the chat if you want to ask him about this as well. So this will be something that is coming up here on March 8th that we need to take a look for. Again, People's Assemblies, Food and Sovereignty, Economic Democracy. Nice talk with some special guests. We'll definitely talk more about it when we get back. First off, we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump in. You all teed up, buddy? You ready?
Yeah. When we come back, actually, I'm glad you showed that flyer because when we come back, we'll be talking about those two very, very exact things: food sovereignty and economic democracy. Again, talking about the move from NOCP and what that means for self-sufficiency and this whole blackout. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about
I'm with it. Stay tuned. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
it in the morning.
Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
7:39 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're coming up on the last 20 minutes of the show. So I appreciate the discussion that's been going on. We kind of wanted to make a little room today for some news and discussion in this tight time frame that we are doing the show in with this new format. If you guys are just joining us, there's some people that I talked to this weekend that didn't realize we were back on Friday. So once again, Friday,
Hey.
7 to 8, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 8. That's the new format this season. So we appreciate everybody that's been following us with that. And shout out to everybody who checked us out on the book drop, man.
Man,
A lot of really good feedback. Got a lot of really good feedback. Yeah. Definitely check out the book drop on Omaha Public Library's official podcast. Yeah, and we took it over last week. So definitely go to where you get your podcast. It's called The Book Drop. Check it out. A lot of great feedback. Thanks for everybody that checked it out and gave me that great feedback about it.
Man,
We
yeah.
had so much fun doing it. I can't even tell you. It's right up our alley in a
Yeah,
big
we
way.
did. We did. And not just that, like we did it, felt good afterwards. Like, yeah, that was good. And then I went back and listened to it on Friday and like it was a different experience, but I enjoyed listening just as a listener. So please go check that out if you haven't already. Shout out to the Omaha Public Library, Amy Mather, Margie, the whole team. Big shout out.
Yeah, man. Big time, big time. Marlon Harrison has jumped into the chat a couple times talking about this. Has y'all been seeing how crazy these town halls have gotten? Just saw one where a white woman got dragged and arrested for speaking out, and no one helped her. Okay,
Yeah.
I missed
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I mean that's the times we're in, man. Like it's a tense time in this country, you know, and we have threats both domestic and international. Like we haven't even mentioned the whole Zelensky blow up over the weekend. Like what does that mean for, you know, how we're viewed in the international community? And then of course things getting tense domestically, like yeah, getting crazy out here.
Yeah, it's getting wild. It's getting wild for sure. But we still are talking. We still have some opportunity to really kind of check out what's going on. Speaking of those town halls, appreciate you bringing that up, Marlon Harrison. We already talked about the one that's coming up, District 2, over at Assembly of the Saints. So yeah, appreciate this one's be at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, March 5th, and it's going to be hosted by our special guest that'll be here on Wednesday, Jaden and Olivia. If you haven't seen Sermon with Sherman episode last night, he talked to these young folks and got into the reason why they're even doing what they're doing. And but yeah, this will be great that they're going to come to Assembly of the Saints and host this. And then there's another one coming up on March 8th that the Black Caucus is putting together. Another
Okay.
candidate forum. There's a lot of candidate forums going on for District 2 because we all know District 2 got a lot of candidates.
Man, too many to put on one forum, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't blame people for splitting this 10, 12 different candidates. That's
Yeah, we're still asking the question, why? What's
man, man.
Anyway, yeah, this is happening at Metropolitan Community College Culinary Arts Institute, 5370 North 30th Street, Building 22. It's going to be hosted by Pastor Tony Jeffrey. At 2 o'clock, the mayoral race candidates will be there. Break between sessions with refreshments, and then 4:30, City Council District 2 race candidates will be there. It's going to be a whole day of forums, and it'll be your chance to kind of go there and speak face to face, talk to these folks, ask the questions that you want to ask directly, and try to get some answers, see where they stand, because we got to start, whittling this stuff down, man.
Man. Also, I don't know, is it kind of mentioned it in the newsletter? You can put the filler out there, Paul, for our thing.
Yeah, you talking about
Yeah, the
for
candidates.
yeah. We're gonna yeah.
Got a
Uh,
lot going on. I know.
we do got a lot going on. We're working on that right now. We're actually doing some videotaping of some of the recording of some of the candidates, pretty much all the candidates that are running for city office. So stay tuned for some of those interviews that are going to be coming off site, not on the live show, but they'll be pre-recorded, and we'll be asking some questions. So if you have questions that you want me to ask these candidates, go ahead and send them to First Sky Omaha at Gmail, or you can hit me on Facebook. I'm trying to stay off of Facebook these days, man.
Yeah, stick to the emails. Stick to the
Yes,
email.
to the email. Yes, hit us at First Sky Omaha at Gmail so that we can incorporate that in our questions. And when we go ask some of the people that are running, not just for District 2, all the other districts as well. So we'll be
Yeah,
doing a lot
and
of
mayor.
recordings coming up. Mm-hmm. Say
I
again.
just say and mayor. Just throwing that in there.
And mayoral race as well. We're probably not going to be the ones that are in charge of those, but there will be a couple of mayoral candidates we will definitely be talking to. We just locked down speaking to Brother John Ewing coming up here. So yeah, if you have questions, please let us know. We would love for you to add those to our questions, and we'll try to get some answers out of them with this journey that we're working on as well. So that's what's up. Brief Fool in the chat is saying, what are y'all looking to hear from the District 2 candidates at the forum on Wednesday? Very good question.
Get your questions ready. Get your questions ready. Actually, Sister Cameron coming with her own comments, questions, and concerns. She says, I'm looking to hear about their plans around economic development. I'm also curious to hear about the work they have already been doing in neighborhoods at the resident level and how they plan to use the city budget to better engage neighborhoods moving forward. Okay. I like to see that. I like that. I like where you're going with that. Actually, can we stick with that economic development? Can we dive into this whole blackout conversation? And is this what economic democracy looks like? Is this the economic move, or does it look like something else? Does it look
Right.
like something else? So again, first of all, just a quick poll, like from the chat. Did anybody participate in the blackout? Did you have to run to Walmart for any reason? Did you?
No, like Pops, man. Like Pops, I've kind of eliminated a whole lot of that, whole lot of that kind of spending. I got a little Amazon problem. I will say that I'm working
Okay.
on that. I didn't do it on that day. I just kind of figured. I felt like how brother Kasim felt. It's not enough, bro. Like the one day, not really enough. But it was such a since it's one day, it was real easy to do for me. I just didn't go to the store that day, didn't buy no
Mhm.
gas that day. So I participated. Let us know anybody else participated. I'd like to hear if you guys participated. It's kind of easy for me to do that. Where it would be getting hard if I had to say I was doing a blackout for a month.
See, and that's where the conversation goes. And brother
Yeah,
Anthony Rogers, man, brother Anthony Rogers, right? Kind of acknowledged that this whole thing felt performative. Like, what were the demands? What are we just responding emotionally, which kind of seems to be the trend for a lot of things.
yeah,
And I just want to break down because I didn't know this. I kind of feel like a lot of people in the chat may not have known exactly where this whole blackout came from. We just kind of seen, flyers and postings swirling on social media. But this thing actually has a source, according to Economic Times. The 24-hour economic blackout, which an initiative urged Americans to refrain from spending for a full day, just one full day, which is a whole nother point of conversation, as to your point, Paul. But interesting enough, where it came from, the protest was launched by a newly formed, so this is a Johnny come lately, to Kimra's point, what is their track record? Newly formed People's Union USA, which was founded by a Mr. John Schwartz, who was a Chicago-based meditation teacher who unexpectedly found himself at the helm of a growing movement. This guy has no advocacy experience. Just kind of went viral with this thing. He's not necessarily an organizer in the sense that he just went viral. Again, across social media, individuals shared their participation. Some brewed their morning coffee at home. Of course, people took routes. But again, who is this man and where did this come from? Again, before this whole viral movement, Schwartz had no prior background in activism. Before this, he was primarily known online for sharing motivational messages with his 250,000 or so followers. Was started as an offhand call to action, turned into a viral sensation, amassing millions of views and endorsements from figures like Stephen King and Bette Midler. So it definitely reached a viral point. But to Miss Erica Phelps' point, she actually shared this on Friends of First Sky. Those millions of views actually might have made this man some money. So, while he's telling you to save your coin, he's benefiting and making some coin at the same time. So again, somebody without the track record, it is a little it's kind of a red flag. Like, what is your real goal? What was the real point behind this? What is your real motivation? What is the real intention? Because to everybody's point, I don't see a one day boycott. Like, what's the real impact on that? It's kind of
yeah.
performative.
I mean, that's the main thing. I don't think that anything that he's doing is going to harm nothing. Everybody jumped on it because it was easy to jump on.
Mhm.
We can go one day. I just mentioned if it would be tough on us if it took a month. If we did a month boycott. And Kimra was thinking what I was thinking, the exact thing I was thinking. She says, if we do a blackout for a month, I'm going to need y'all help to help me to find a black owned gas station and a black owned grocery store. Yeah, I can absolutely feel that would be us having to go out of our way to figure something else out. I'm even thinking about. I think maybe it might even be public transportation we'd have to do, or I'm not really sure, but the actual economic blackout for a significant amount of time would be very tough. Marlon Harrison said, "I ate a timeout chicken instead of Burger King on Friday." Probably
Man,
should,
her gyms was packed.
probably should do that all the time. Though I'm just saying, this Burger King ain't good for you. Good for you.
Man.
But yeah, but time, you know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of the alternative too. What do you do? Do you not hit those specific places and go hit other places? Lavelle Wells in the chat. Good morning. Good hearing from you, bro. He said I went to Walmart to pay my light bill on Friday, and the line was packed of people from the community. Check checks came out that day. Yep, yep.
I know.
That was the thing too. It was checks dropped.
The 28th.
So same with me. I went to the Asian store, which is where I do my grocery shopping. There was so many people there. I couldn't even put a stop. I couldn't even park. I just decided I had to come back another day because it was that packed. So so if I don't have no idea if these people were engaged in the blackout that day or what. But it was really interesting to see just a reminder that first of the month come around, people are out spending some loot, bro, for real, in
Mhm.
a big way. Mark Manner says, "My fear is that people do these things for one day, post about them, and feel like they've done their part. It feels like it could make people lazy." Yeah,
I can see that. So it's performative. You just get the quick hit, dopamine, feel like you did something, and then
yeah,
keep it moving.
because a real economic blackout would be very very hard to do. It'd be hard to do. It'd be struggle when I think back to the bus boycotts. People were walking to work miles and miles and miles to not take that bus. Arranging for people to do carpools and all kinds of stuff because it was tough. It was tough on folks. Can you imagine you being elderly and having to walk to work miles because you're participating in this bus boycott?
Man,
A boycott ain't supposed to be easy on us and hard on them.
that's the thing, man. I'm trying to formulate the thought, but you know, growing up in the church, I'm thinking about the devil, man. Like that imagery of the Satan who comes and gives you, I'll make this easier. I'll do this. I'll give you this to make life easier. It sounds good, looks good, in the immediate, it might even feel good. But when you really look at the impact, is it good? And that's what I'm thinking of, like all these conveniences we're talking about. If we're not willing to be uncomfortable. I mean, prime example, Ramadan.
Mm-hmm.
Ramadan.
Happening now.
Ramadan Mubarak to all my brothers and sisters out there. But fasting, like intentionally fasting and getting uncomfortable for a benefit for a extended period of time. That's the only way to get things done. If you want to work out, you don't just go to the gym one day.
Man, I tried that. Don't work.
Man, it don't work. It don't work. It doesn't work.
I was
It
like,
doesn't
okay,
work.
okay, James, I got one day for you, James.
Man, so I think we're all seeing things, have to change. We all know that things need to change, but are we willing to do the hard work? Or are we, going to let everybody else do it for us? And then realize that they're not doing it for us, they're doing it for themselves.
Well, one thing that this brings us back to one of the reasons why we do what we do. We're having this regular conversation Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because that's the only way to keep it on your mind, man. That's the only way to really kind of keep discussing. We discussed this all week, and we're gonna have a different viewpoint of what one day of economic blackout did. We're sitting here discussing it right now, knowing that we need to at least go 30 days. What we really need to do is go until the demands are met, like Brother Anthony Rogers Wright said. And that's really what it is. We can't do that without having some discussion, breaking down all the pros and the cons, and figuring it out, and then getting together on it.
Man,
So as long as we can keep talking, keep having some conversation, we can get to it.
I'm even feeling like not even thinking about it from the perspective of we're going to do X, Y, and Z until you meet my demands and you do what I want you to do. You do what you do, and I'm gonna do what I do. And if what you're doing is not benefiting me, then I'm gonna go over here and build my own table. I don't need you to do nothing for me. I don't need you to give me nothing. And on that point, we're running out of time. I wanted to acknowledge what NOCP is doing because that's what the real work looks like.
Yes.
That's what the real thing is. That's the real thing, not this performative 24-hour boycott. If you don't know it,
for them to change something, we did that in the 60s and 70s. We're not here for them to change something. We're here we got to just do the thing now.
Exactly. Us demanding anything from them is we still got our hand out and we're just kicking and screaming until we get what we want. But that's not it. That's not it. Shout out to NOCP for taking matters into their own hands. If you don't know, the North Omaha Community Partnership recently acquired a land lot and is fighting food sovereignty. Shout out to Brother Rastacora out in Jamaica, reminding us that we are still fighting a food war. Redlining wasn't just about housing; it was about all services. We got the bottom of the totem pole. Our grocery stores get food from other grocery stores. No wonder your strawberries don't last 2 days.
Man.
Because they're not fresh. Those are leftover strawberries from the Kroger's in West Omaha.
Bro.
So again, asking these government or these organizations, these billion-dollar corporations to do anything for us is not the move. It's not. We got to do it for ourselves. So shout out to Sister Tamika Renee. Shout out to the North Omaha Community Partnership. And if you really want to do the work, get your hands dirty. Help them with this community garden. Let's grow some food. So you ain't got to go to Walmart. You can call grandma about some jars like we used to do. Like we got to go back to that. The solutions are there. And that's kind of what I want to end this whole thing. Yeah. This whole conversation today. Because again, we're running out of time. But again, I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Like we got, but that's enough if you know what to do with it. We got to go back to hyper local. That's why we're focused so hyper local on this show. We got to do it together. And I bring up to your point as far as what the guy with the economic blackout is doing. My whole point is we don't know that dude. I know Sister Tamika. I know Brother Leo. I know the people that's out doing the work.
It's interesting, the difference there. We are actually absolutely seeing that. Anthony Rogers Wright says, these one-day performative actions make me understand why our elders get frustrated with younger folk. None of the civil rights achievements were done through social media or one-day actions.
Man.
Lots of black farming, lots of things came from that in a direction that don't always get light. You hear about the civil rights movement back in the day and what that led to, and it usually leans towards it led to some political movement and some progress politically, or some people in seats, high places in high black faces in high places. And those are, you don't talk too much about the communes that came from that era and the farms that came from that era and the people that knew at that point, we just got to figure it out and do for ourselves. Why doesn't that get the light? That needs the light. Why doesn't the Black Agenda Alliance? Why doesn't their agenda get the light? That's the kind of stuff we need to be shining the light on. It's no longer. We already know. We've already been through it, and we know the handout is not the way to go. Can't be. I went ahead and got the information on this again. Appreciate Anthony Rogers Wright putting this in the chat. An internationally acclaimed racial climate justice advocate and expert of people-centered cooperative, the great Kali Akuno, will be in Omaha on Saturday. I saw a comment that he did earlier saying that he is from Jackson, Mississippi. He's doing stuff in Mississippi and sees some parallels here in the Mississippi of the Midwest, and that's why he's coming. He'll be in Omaha Saturday, March 8th, to discuss the experiences of people's assemblies, food sovereignty, and economic democracy as part of the Jackson Rising model he developed and implemented. Mississippi, man. Cooperation Jackson's basic theory of change is centered on the position that organizing and empowering the structurally under and unemployed sectors of the working class, particularly from Black and Latino communities, to build worker organized and owned cooperatives, will be a catalyst for the demonstration of our economy and society overall. So this in the light of what we're talking about here, very important situation here, a very important event to go to. Check it out, March 8th. They do have a suggested donation, but you can go check that out. More information in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and I'm sure that you can hit Brother Anthony Rogers right up for more info on this as well. But yeah, man, anxious to hear what was going to be said there. And we are all about solutions. Solutions mean going to another place like Jackson, Mississippi, seeing what worked, seeing if we can bring it back here and make it work here.
That's it. That's literally what solutions journalism is. Looking at who got the answers and how can that be applied to your locale. So again, we can figure it out. Just gotta be ready to do the work.
Big time. Sarah Fell says, I can rarely get on here live, but I'm thankful when I can. Time to feed the children. Please be good to yourselves and drink water. Do you not get chapped?
I'm not sure. Yeah. That last part got through.
But yes, but appreciate your sentiment as well. Yeah, appreciate you coming on when you can as well, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate that. Anthony Rogers Wright says Free Farm Syndicate is ready and willing to assist NOCP any way they need. Man,
Beautiful, beautiful.
appreciate that.
Sister Kimber also says maintaining a garden still has barriers, but you can reach out to Whispering Roots for support. Also, you don't forget you can get 10 free packs of seeds a month at the public library. 10 free packs of seeds.
Shout out to the library, bro.
Man, that's free food, y'all. That's free food.
See,
The light is free.
yeah,
I would say the water is free, but that's
free.
yeah, it's a whole different conversation.
You have to pay for air here pretty soon.
Bro. Yeah. So
what you don't got to pay for is coming on, checking us out, and signing up to the weekly wrap so we can continue this conversation. Please continue to tell a friend, and get as many people in as we can. We're constantly trying to refine the weekly wrap in order for us to deliver the best information, the most useful information that we can, leaning in the directions of the things that we are talking about here together. So appreciate all the Chad Chimers, Ghost listeners, and monitoring spirits that come on and check us out and continue the conversation in the street. And boots to the roof. Shout out to Sherman Wells, everybody who's boots to the roots. Shout out to Tamika Meese. Shout out to everybody who's doing the work. Kimmer Snipes, everybody who's doing the work. Anthony Rogers Wright. So many people to name all the time. Check it out. And we're also highlighting some of those folks in the weekly wrap as well in order for us to give them their flowers while they're here as well. So shout out to all of you. Let's go ahead and get out of here. It's already 1 minute past 8. If you believe in the concept of time, buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, just a quick tidbit. We have not really been able to get the Senators on like we hoped this season. We're still working on that. There are some scheduling things. People have lives, and we understand, but we are still diligently working to get that information to you because we definitely have to know what's going on in the legislature. As I mentioned, things happening in the federal government. What is the state doing? You know, what levels of protection do we have? So again, we'll continue with that. Also, again, we will be interviewing our candidates running for city council. So if you have any questions, hit us up, firstguyomaha@gmail.com. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and kick it to you, Paul B.
Right
Let's get out of here, man.
Let's do that. And to that point, we did talk to the senators. They are willing to come through. We just have to figure out the time frame that we can and make sure that we're not opposing the schedule. But by next Monday, we will be hearing from both Senator Ashley Spivey and Senator Terrell McKinney, thanks to the conversations that I had with them this week. So shout out. Don't forget, Lakeisha Green is going to come through on Friday as well to talk about this union situation. And shout out to her for agreeing to come. So stay tuned for that. There's more to come. I'm sure there's going to be more coming out this week as well. The story deepens and thickens. Man. And then, of course, our brother Jaden and Olivia is going to be on Wednesday as well. We're going to talk about this forum coming up and why these young folks are all about doing what they do. Shout out to Sherman Wells for priming the conversation and asking them about why they are in the public service and getting some answers, having a good conversation with them. Shout out to Assembly of the Saints for hosting the forum that's coming up as well. So shout out to everybody who's doing the work, man. That forum is happening on Wednesday, March 5th, 6:00. So we'll be talking to them the day of, and then highly encourage you to go and support them with this. So thank you. Yeah, man. Going down. Pop says, great show. Love starting off the week like this. See you Wednesday. Appreciate you. Mama Guy says, great show. Share and like. Man, Anthony, really appreciate everybody who's just came in today with this information. It was to me, it felt like a very information filled show today. Yeah. And I'm hyped for the week. Stay hyped with me, y'all. I'm hyped for the week about how we can really make some kind of a difference instead of the performative stuff. Let's really get together and do for self.
Yeah.
With that, we're going to get out of here. Shout out to the Umaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to all the chat chimers allowing us to speak with you and continue the conversation on these things. Do us a favor. Go to firstguyomaha.com, hit join, and become a reoccurring member of the channel as well. Shout out to the $10 people, $25 people, $50 people. Thank you. That monthly money that comes in there helps us maintain this and continue this. And thank you for everybody who's been hitting us up for services as well, video services that we've been doing out and about. Thank you for that. Shout out to everybody who's been doing advertising with us. All these things help us to continue this conversation and expand on what we're doing. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, buddy. One more time. I don't want to missay what this is. You say this is Ramadan. You say Mubarak.
Mabarak.
Say it again.
Ramadan Mabarak.
Got it.
Or response to Ramadan Kareem.
There you go. Shout out to everybody who's on that fasting. It's a tough thing to do.
Man, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But hey, you gotta do the hard thing if you want to get some benefits.
With that, we're gonna get out of here this week and try to do the hard thing to get the benefits. So
hey,
peace.
By the way, Van Glorious, this is protected by the Red